Welcome to A.U.M. I'm your host, Callie Fedosinko of Callie Collective, a digital marketing agency designed to build relationships between financial advisors and their target audience through data-driven content, websites, and advertising. Our episode today is brought to you by the Financial Planning Association, otherwise known as the FPA. The FPA is a great resource center providing education, support, and networking opportunities for financial advisors like you. Now, our episode today is all about your financial firm's legacy and how you can solidify your relationships with your clients' children by helping them earn cash for college. We're talking with Nia Grant, the college cash coach, try to say that 5 times fast, who earned $1 million in cash. That's right, $1 million, and is talking to us today about how she did it, how she promotes it, and how you can connect with the next generation of clients. So welcome, Nia. I am so excited to have you.
Thank you so much for having me, Callie. Excited to be here.
Yeah. So, Nia, I want to talk to you today about 2 things. The first one is WTF. How did you win $1 million? And can anyone do this? And the second thing I want to talk about is how advisors can connect and grow relationships with college students and soon to be college students. And ideally, I would separate these out. But as I was writing my questions, they really play off of each other. So this is really going to be kind of a more organic conversation. Starting with $1 million, really?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I'm excited to get into this topic. Sounds like a lot of good things that we'll discuss. But yeah, to start off, $1 million in scholarships. That's what I wanted to go to college. I graduated from Clemson University, so go Tigers. Yeah. And if you're not familiar, we're a really big football school, and orange is like our main color. So,
Love it.
Yeah, I won my scholarships really my senior year of high school. That's when I started applying. Yeah, and if you don't know, like you said, your audience is advisors. So I don't know how many of you have kids or like high school age kids, but you can start winning scholarships from kindergarten, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, and like I started my senior year, so imagine I would have
started kindergarten. My dog has opinions on this. I don't know if you can hear her barking.
Your dogs understand. Yes, college is expensive. So the sooner you can get started searching for opportunities, the better off you'll be, not only for, the student, but also for the family, because the financial burden usually falls a lot on the family. So this really helps to alleviate some of that stress. But to sum it up, the $1 million was an accumulation of scholarship money, private organizations. That was also offers from the different universities that I applied to, and grants as well.
That is amazing. So can anyone do this? Specifically, I'm thinking our audience clients tend to have high net worth. Is this going to disqualify their children from a lot of these opportunities?
Yeah, great question. Great question. And the answer is no. Yeah, it might be surprising because you might not think that. And I started College Cash Coach to help other students graduate debt-free while building wealth, because that was my story. So not only did I win $1 million in scholarships to go to college, I went to college. I had a bunch of internships. I made like $30,000 to $40,000 from my entire 4-year span. Through internships at school, made a lot of connections, started a business, and graduated, and I bought my first house, which is this house I'm sitting in. So not only graduating debt-free, but also building wealth and starting to create generational wealth while you're in school. But you do not have to fall into categories like I did. And since I make posts on social media, that is a lot of my feedback that I get. It's like, well, I'm not a minority, or I don't have this major, or I make too much money. And the thing is, like, these are all excuses, because there's definitely for you. Even right now, there's the Brian Cameron Education Foundation Scholarship. I literally have it pulled up right here. Yeah. It's a full tuition scholarship. And, tuition is different from cost of attendance. So it doesn't include things like room and board, but tuition is majority of the cost. Like, I think out of state was like 50,000, maybe 35,000 of that was just tuition. You can get that covered, no matter if you make like $1 million a year or $50,000 a year.
Right,
the scholarship's still out there and available.
I need to go back in time.
Yeah.
So on your website, and I know you just mentioned this, that you graduated debt free and bought your first house. You were only 22, which is so crazy. I'm late 30s and still don't own a house. So, did you buy your house from the scholarship money or was it from the business you started? Like, how did that work?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was a little mix of everything. You know, it
Yeah,
all just goes into like one account. So I can't, it'd be really hard for me to like distill, where every dollar came from. But I
sure.
would say um, scholarship refunds is what I got. If you've never heard of a refund, basically that's all of that scholarship money that you get, less all of your
Mm.
tuition fees, expenses, like I was just saying, you get
Mhm.
all that money back as a refund check. And, you have
Mm.
to manage that. So in my situation, I would get, $6,000 to $8,000 a semester, and you just get one bulk sum and you have to manage that your entire semester.
Yeah.
Which, as you can imagine, give, a 17-year-old or 18-year-old in training,
Uh,
it's like, what are you going to do with that? Uh, so you have to have those financial practices and money mindsets to not just blow it all, in 1 month. Like you have to pay your rent and
right.
food and transportation, all these other things. But yeah, so I would say it's mostly from some of those refund checks, managing my savings, not spending it all, keeping expenses low. But also my internships. Like I said, I did 3 really big internships throughout college and
Yeah.
started a business. So all of those things combined is how I had enough to save up for my house.
It's so amazing. I mean, it's such a great way to start your life. And like, I can see immense value that parents would want to provide for their children. And a lot of our advisors that I talk to deal a lot with family finances and parents desiring for their children to become financially independent. Of course, even if they
Mhm.
have an inheritance, parents want to make sure their children are set up for the future. And this sounds like such a great opportunity. Do you offer classes to train other coaches? And could our audience hire you to come speak to their clients or purchase your class to use in their services? Because I would say probably 90% or more of the advisors are very well adept at investing and saving for college, but likely don't know anything about scholarships.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, I would be more than happy to talk to anyone. Like, I didn't think scholarships are, they're not sexy. I'll be honest with you. Like, it's kind
Right.
of lame, right? But it just the doors that are open from applying to scholarships
Mm.
really, like, I would not be in this position right now. And,
Mm-hmm.
because I did apply for the scholarships, I had like a 6-figure net worth by the time I graduated college, which is kind of insane. So I would be more than happy to talk to any student because I feel like everyone should know about it because the
Yeah.
information is out there.
Yeah. And here we've got Nia's email. So if you are watching this and you want to learn more or have her come talk, I know a lot of advisors do events. Um, and I don't know if you would fly out, but I'm sure that you could do a Zoom with their clients. I feel like that could be really great,
Yeah.
especially for developing a relationship. Advisors developing a relationship with their clients' children. Like this is a great door for that. So Nia, you've created a business from your knowledge and coaching people through the process. What has the biggest impact on connecting with students, or are you connecting with their parents? Like what topics and platforms? What is this age demographic looking for?
Yeah, great question. I would say both, connecting with both parents and students, right?
Yeah.
Because some motivated students will go out and find the information on their own,
Yeah.
but we all know not every student is motivated.
Right.
So you have to get the parents, and it's a process. It's a joint effort. I will say that, of course, most of it does fall on your child because they're the ones that are filling out the applications. But as a parent, you can still support your kid during this time by helping them know what resources to look for. Like, for example, I've had parents refer my Instagram or my email to their students. They can reach out, or
Mm.
they see one of my videos for a scholarship that their student can apply to. They send it that way. So I would say both. On the parent side, I do partner with other organizations, like you said, with
Mhm.
workshops and webinars. So I'll host monthly, topics. So if we're talking about the
Mm.
FAFSA, what should we be applying to? If we're talking about
Yes.
how to avoid senioritis, I know that's something that I got a question about. So I'll host webinars for parents. And then when it comes to the students, I'm mostly focused on social media.
Mhm.
Everybody has a short attention span. So I have to
Mhm.
get the topic out in like 30 seconds or less.
Okay.
So I talk about scholarships and other college tidbits, usually on Instagram and TikTok are my main platforms that I reach out to students with.
And mostly video.
Yes, mostly video.
So for our audience, definitely. Also, check out last week's A.U.M because we talked about short form video. um, have you found a drop in demand for college? I feel like with all the debt, and I don't know, maybe it's just my age that I'm in, but I hear a lot of people talking about like, oh, college isn't worth it, blah blah blah. Have you found that that's affected kids today?
I wouldn't say so. Not from what I see.
Ooh, good.
Um, I
Okay.
mean, of course, I might be biased because I am the college cash coach.
Right.
So people come out to me and they ask me questions about college. But
Yeah.
even for students who, maybe a 4-year college or university is not your path, that doesn't mean that
Mm-hmm.
any type of higher education, whether it be a 2-year degree or certificate or any type of program, won't be an
Yeah.
option for them. And of course, you see like the influencer age, and everybody wants to be an influencer.
Yeah.
But,
Right.
exactly. For a lot of parents, they still do encourage their kid to go to college. And I'm a proponent of while you're in college, start that influencer career,
Mm-hmm.
start that becoming a chef business or whatever you wanted to do. But college is a great place to foster that because of the environment that it is.
Yeah. All right. You said Instagram and TikTok is
Mhm.
primarily where you're reaching students. Um, I don't know. I feel like I should ask more questions about that age demographic. I just don't know what the questions are. So, have you found that anything works better than something else?
Well, I would say the age demographic is usually like 16 to 22. So junior in high school to senior in college.
Yeah.
And the most that I get people coming in is really that high school senior, college freshman, first 2 years as they're figuring things out. So I would say giving like those helpful tips and offering community, I would
Mm,
say. So I
yeah.
really try and do, Instagram lives or,
Yeah.
if you have a question and we can all have the same conversation because you're not the
Right.
only one, struggling with this or thinking about
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. 16 to 22. Would that be Gen Z or Gen A now?
I didn't know there was a Gen A until you
Yeah.
said that. So I think it should be.
And someone was telling me recently that the generations are getting smaller now because things are changing so quickly.
Mm,
So super interesting. So maybe we're even at B. I don't know.
wow. I mean, because I'm 23, so
Yeah.
I guess Gen Z. I consider myself Gen Z, so I think so.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Gen Z. We'll go with that. I
Yeah.
think Gen A, maybe that's like um COVID babies. If
Okay,
that's
those
the
are
best
super
word.
new.
Okay. You also say you can help win money after college. What does that look like?
Yeah. So what that looks like is okay, scholarships, that's how we get into school. I
Mhm.
really teach internships and entrepreneurship while you're in school. Then when
Mm.
you're after, that's when we start talking about adult life. So
Mhm.
getting your first job, negotiating your salaries, having your
Mm.
401k and things I set up. So how do you manage money after school? And of
Yeah.
course, because we've been talking for years, right? Ever since you were 16, you already have a really good footing and you're ahead
Right.
of the curve, but this is just going to take you to that next level.
Yeah. Negotiating. I mean, that's huge, especially for women, because we were never taught any of that, growing up. You're just supposed to be polite and say, yes, please. And,
Yeah.
be thankful and grateful. I feel like a lot of women never get taught how to negotiate. So I love that you are doing that. And I wish you had been around when I was entering the workforce.
Yeah, well, I'm here now. I'm here now. And I know how your platform is Ask Us Marketing. I'm Ask for the Money. So
Yeah.
don't be afraid. It's Ask for the Money.
I love that. Yeah, because it's hard to know, especially at that age, where to turn to. Where
Mhm.
should you get advice from?
Yeah.
So it's nice to know that you're out there for people and can help them.
Yeah.
Um, So tell me a little bit more about the scholarship process. Like, how much time did you have to devote to filling out applications? Which, blah. That's how I feel hearing about it.
You know what, Callie, that is the greatest word to like summarize the entire
Yeah.
process. Because it is very time consuming. I would say during that senior year, because I really did my fall semester of senior year, I probably spent like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, Monday through Friday applying for scholarships. And I'd
Mm,
probably say I applied to like 80 overall, and out of that
Yeah.
80, I will be honest with you, most of them were no's. Like
Yeah,
most
sure.
of them were no's. So I would say probably 70 to 80% were no's. So I won like maybe
Yeah.
20 or so. But I would think about it as honestly race to see how many no's you can get. Because
Mm.
the amount of yeses you'll get is very slim. I think on average, I say about 10%. So what I
Mhm.
like to tell students and parents is apply to two a day, two
Mm.
scholarships a day. That's, bite size, manageable. And I think the biggest thing is essays. Like that's what
Yeah.
students hate the most. And
Yes.
believe it or not, I hate writing essays as well. Yeah, which may be surprising because I won all the scholarship money. But
Right.
a great way to do it is use, speech to text. Yeah, I would say her name,
Mm.
but like, hey Siri, she's about to respond. But yeah,
Yeah.
hey Siri, and then use your notes app to write or to talk through one of the essay topics because essays are usually around the same things.
Yeah.
It's like, what have you overcome in your life?
Right.
Challenge. Like, tell me about a time that you were a leader, or you had an impact. They usually
Mm.
have the same types of things. So if you can write just one, maybe like I call them three essay prompts, like three
Yeah.
essays that are huge, and then
Mhm.
distill them down, copy and paste for each scholarship application. That's how you can make your process a lot more streamlined, a lot faster. But I would say apply to two scholarships a day, for an hour or so a day, 5 days a
Mhm.
week. And over like 3 months, so about a semester of college,
Okay.
over 100 and something scholarships that you've applied to. And at
Yeah.
a 10% success rate, if you just reverse engineer, you can win a lot more scholarships and start having money for college.
That was gonna be my next question, like, how long was the duration? 3 months, so that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, would you say that there's a better time of year to be filling out the applications? Like, winter, spring, fall? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they're honestly open all year round. Like that scholarship I mentioned, the Brian Cameron Education Foundation scholarship.
Yeah.
And that's the one that it's a full tuition.
Mm.
So, I mean, however much your tuition is, there is no cap on that
Mhm.
for college. And that deadline is Wednesday, so May 22nd.
Mm.
So if
Okay.
you are listening to this and you do have
Yeah.
students, definitely go and apply to that one. But like I said, I was fall semester, and those are when usually like a lot of the really big ones, like Coca-Cola or Taco
Mhm.
Bell, Gates. Like I won the Bill Gates
Mhm.
scholarship. Those are open in the fall, but they are open all year round.
Okay. Um, do you have a list or resource lists that people can access that have like deadlines? Like, here's a list of scholarships and when they're due.
Yeah, I actually do have. If you go to my Instagram, I have a
Yeah.
page where I sell a scholarship list. But I mean, if you look on Instagram and just search up like May
Mhm.
scholarships, they will come up, or June scholarships, they will come up. And I do have some resources where you can sign up for free and get access to monthly scholarships. So I can share that with you as well
I'm
afterwards.
going to pop up here your handle on Instagram and TikTok. So for our listeners, you can go to Instagram or TikTok and just type in at college cash coach. And
Hmm.
Nia should pop up.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. We've covered quite a bit here. Um, anything else that you would say regarding applying for scholarships, or what about a kid who is like disinterested? Do you have any advice for parents on helping them see the value and
Mm.
get motivated?
Yes, like I was saying, some students are motivated, some really aren't.
Right, right.
I think that's the beautiful thing about scholarships. Some like I know GPA requirements are such a big thing, right? Not
Mm-hmm.
everybody has a 3.5 and above. Well,
Mm-hmm.
that's okay because just like the Brian Cameron scholarship is open, no matter your socioeconomic status, there are scholarships open no matter your GPA. So there's still opportunities out there. Now, as far as finding that internal motivation, I think that is a question that you have to have with your student. Like, well, what do you want to do? And I know
Yeah.
that's really hard, right? It's a million dollar
Mm-hmm.
question. But like, what invigorates you? Do
Yeah.
they have any exposure to college students? So if you know
Right.
of any college students that you could have them talk to, or go visit a college campus, or shadow what it's like to be, an engineer for the day or a dentist
Mm.
for the day, I would just say expose your students because the real thing is they may not know because they've never seen it. So expose them
Mm.
as much as they can.
Um, how are you so motivated? You see, like, I feel like to do everything that you've done at your age, you'd have to be extremely motivated and mature.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what was your driving force? What made you be like, I'm going to apply to all these scholarships and I'm going to start a business while I'm in college?
Oh, well, I'd have to say that was definitely my mommy. That was her. Oh, my mom. And
Gotta
she
love
actually,
moms.
yeah, got to, right? Like, y'all are
Mhm.
amazing people.
Uh-huh.
She actually bought her first house at 21. So to
Wow.
put things into perspective for you, that was my benchmark. So honestly, I feel like
Mm.
I was late because I was
Yeah.
22. So I was like, dang, I messed up. So I would say definitely her. And like, I just college for me was, I knew I was going to college.
Mhm.
Even if I didn't, I probably would have went into real estate because that's definitely a second passion of mine.
Mm.
But you have a different motivation when your plan A is also your plan B and C and
Yeah.
D. Like
Yeah.
you have to make it work. So that
Right.
was really what motivated me.
Yeah. I love that. And I love what you're doing and putting out there for people. And again, if you're watching, you can find Nia and she can talk to your parents and students. Um, I have your email. I'll put that back up. And we've got her Instagram here. Let me get there. All right, there it is. Email hello at collegecashcoach.com.
Yes.
And she can give you all the deets. All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Nia. This was delightful to have you on here.
No, thank you for having me. And I think my biggest takeaway or biggest piece of advice, if you don't get anything
Yeah,
from this, is just get started. Even if it's
yeah,
not a perfect application, that's better than no application.
yes, yes. We hear that all the time here from multiple like video. Just get started. Um, podcast. Just get started.
Yes.
Colleges,
Okay.
just get started. It's a thing, uh,
Yeah,
and it's true. You got to start somewhere. You can't expect perfection out the door. Although I,
exactly.
although it's hard because I am a perfectionist.
Yeah, aren't we all? There must be some validity in that statement if everybody's saying it. So
Yeah,
just try.
yeah, exactly. This was so great. Thank you, Nia.
All right. Thank you.
All right, if you are watching, if you're curious how your marketing is doing, guess what? We have the quiz for you. Just scan this QR code. Is your marketing savvy or sorry? It's a little bit like those BuzzFeed quizzes, if you remember those. So a little fun, but also educational. And then next Monday is Memorial Day. So we will not be hosting A.U.M live at lunch, but you can catch us on June 3rd as we converse with Justin Peters for part 2 of podcasting, all about the equipment and what you need to get started. So until, what did I say? June 3rd? Until June 3rd, have a great week. Enjoy your holiday, and I will see you then.